I will count you in 3, 2.
My fellow Americans, are we at war in America? Some sort of a cold civil war? Are we on an irreversible track of hostilities towards one another that is setting this country up for a bitter end? So my name is John Wood Jr. I'm Director of Media Development and a spokesperson for Braver Angels. My background is both biracial and multicultural, and also bipartisan. I grew up in Culver City, California, a very multicultural community. On weekends, I would visit family who lived in Inglewood or in parts of South Los Angeles or South Central, sort of harder parts of town. And so I grew up with the entire panorama of ethnic identities. My mother is African American, my dad is white, and on both sides of the family, I've always had Republicans and Democrats. As an African American Republican looking to be actively involved in the Black community and among millennials and so forth, maybe I could occupy an important place in helping to build the bridge between the two sides of the political conversation and also in the racial conversation. For increasingly many folks in this country today, Republicans or Democrats are the enemy. But for me, Democrats and Republicans have always just been mom and dad. So I sought to launch a digital media network. It wouldn't be right or left exactly, but it would highlight voices from across the spectrum who disagreed about politics, but who agreed about how we ought to be treating each other. It's important to realize that if what it is you are watching or listening to makes you afraid of your fellow Americans, we eliminate our own capacity to treat one another fairly. We've come to define each other as enemies rather than people who are sharing a country and whose political project ought to be, rather than the vanquishing of one another as enemies, the establishing of common bonds sufficient to enable us to live alongside of each other as friends.